A long time Hogarth waited on the tree. A star came out. He could hear the sea. Then there, standing at the edge of the hole, was a fox. A big red fox looking towards the dead hen. Hogarth stopped breathing, and the fox stood without moving, sniff, 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 out towards the hen. But he did not step out onto the trap. Slowly, he walked around the white patch of raw soil till he got back to where he had started, sniffing all the time out towards the bird. But he did not step out onto the trap. Was he too smart to walk out there where it was not safe? But at that moment, he stopped sniffing. He turned his head and looked towards the top of the cliff. Hogarth, wondering what the fox had seen, looked towards the top of the cliff. There, enormous in the blue evening sky, stood the Iron Man on the brink of the cliff, gazing inland. In a moment, the fox had vanished. Now what? Hogarth, carefully, quietly, hardly breathing, climbed slowly down the tree. He must get home and tell his father. But at the bottom of the tree, he stopped. He could no longer see the Iron Man against the twilight sky. Had he gone back over the cliff into the sea? Or was he coming down the hill in the darkness under that high skyline towards Hogarth and the farms? Then Hogarth understood what was happening. He could hear a strange tearing and creaking sound. The Iron Man was pulling up the barbed wire fence that led down the hill. And soon Hogarth could see him as he came nearer, tearing the wire from the post, rolling it up like spaghetti and eating it. The Iron Man was eating the barbed fencing wire. But if he went along the fence, eating as he moved, he wouldn't come anywhere near the trap, which was out in the middle of the field. He could spend the whole night wandering about the countryside, along the fences, rolling up the wire and eating it, and never would any fence bring him near the trap. But Hogarth had an idea. In his pocket, among other things, he had a long nail and a knife. He took these out. Did he dare? His idea frightened him. In the silent dusk, he tapped the nail and the knife blade together. Cling, cling, cling. At the sound of the metal, the Iron Man's hands became still. After a few seconds, he slowly turned his head and the headlamp eyes shone towards Hogarth. Again, cling, 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 went the nail on the knife. Slowly, the Iron Man took 3 strides towards Hogarth and again stopped. It was now quite dark. The headlamp shone red. Hogarth pressed close to the tree trunk. Between him and the Iron Man lay the white lid of the trap. Cling, cling, cling. Again he tapped the nail to the knife. And now the Iron Man was coming. Hogarth could feel the earth shaking under the weight of his footsteps. Was it too late to run? Hogarth stared at the Iron Man, looming, searching towards him for the taste of the metal that had made that inviting sound. Cling, cling, cling went the nail on the knife, and crash! The Iron Man vanished. He was in the pit. The Iron Man had fallen into the pit. Hogarth went close. The earth was shaking as the Iron Man struggled underground. Hogarth peered over the torn edge of the great pit. Far below, two deep red headlamps glared up at him from the pitch blackness. He could hear the Iron Man's insides grinding down there, and it sounded like a big lorry grinding its gears on a steep hill. Hogarth set off. He ran home with the great news. And as he passed the cottages on the way, and as he turned down the lane towards his father's farm, he was shouting, "The Iron Man's in the trap, and we have caught the Iron Giant."